Hello my precious little dragons, welcome back to my channel. Today is day 6, day 6 of my moving across the continent and everything, and this is part 2 of my moving travel vlog. So if you have not seen part 1, it is up here just for you. This is our rest day and we mostly just spent it taking naps and walking a bit, and I didn't listen to audiobooks. I mostly just read. Well, I finished reading Order of the Phoenix, which, as you can tell, my copy is very beaten and battered, and I have been trying to read it for about like 2.5 months, but Order of the Phoenix is the book that has Umbridge, and I hate her, loathe her so much that I had trouble forcing myself to read it, and then of course everything happened with J.K. Rowling and I just didn't have the energy, so I finally forced myself to finish it today. I still hate Umbridge. Can't stand her. I like her getting her comeuppance, but even that is barely enough to make me finish. So after book 4, it's just so dramatic and I'm so invested that it's just. But I won't say too much about that because I am planning on finishing up the book looks for the last 3 books, and hopefully that'll be okay. I have some plans to hopefully make it decent. I'll explain more when I get to that video, but I just wanted to have that off of my list for today. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Didn't do a lot else, and now it's time to sleep before 9 hours of driving tomorrow. Bye. Good evening. Hello. It is Mom, it's day 6, right? I think it's day 6. It is our last night in Canada and we are passing through the Yukon, and you have to go through in 24 hours because of the pandemic rules and everything. So it's two like basically 10-hour days of driving. So it's going to be long. I mean, it was long today. It's going to be long tomorrow, basically. And then we'll be in Alaska, which will be cool. So we listened to a few books. So we first started out with a novella called And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Fredrik Backman. And it's only about an hour long, and I cried for about 40 minutes of the hour-long novella because it's basically like the author described it as like a love letter to explain aging and dementia to his children and grandchildren, and it's centered around this grandpa and his favorite grandson Noah, who likes to call Noah because he wants to say his name twice as much because he loves him twice as much. And yeah, I just cried because it was just very touching. I would say it was like a very real portrait of dementia and kind of that fear of losing yourself and forgetting the people you love, and it was a lot. And I'm tearing up now. It's fine. It was very, very good. I rated it 5 stars because for only being an hour long, it had a rather large emotional impact. The next one we read, which was not quite as emotionally impactful, but was still a decent book, was called A Beautiful Blue Death by Charles Finch. And it was a murder mystery set in the Victorian era. And it's a detective, well, he's not a detective, kind of like your Sherlock Holmes amateur-y detective. And his name is Lennox. And he's solving the mystery at the request of his friend Lady Jane, who had a former maid die in the home of her next employer. And so it's just unraveling that mystery. And that one I ended up rating 3 stars because it was good. There was like nothing super standout-ish about it, and it did somewhat drag at points. The resolution it lasted literally an hour. I was like, it doesn't need to be that long. Like you could have wrapped it up in like 10 minutes and just been like, this happened, done. Because I do appreciate to some degree taking your time with resolutions and like making sure all your loose ends are tied up in a way that's satisfactory. But this one just went on and on and on and on and on and on, and I was just kind of like, I'm not sure about that. So it was good overall. I would just say the ending just dragged it down. Would you agree, Mom?
Yes.
She agrees. Oh. Do you have any other opinions I have not mentioned?
No, it just was, I love books with detail, but it was just like, it was mired down in detail.
Mired down in detail.
Yes.
What a way to describe it. The next one, which we have just started listening to over dinner, is called The Unexpected Mrs. Pollifax by Dorothy Gilman. This is actually a book that I have read the first few chapters of in the past, but I was just sitting in the library reading it and I didn't check it out because I was just killing time. But I really enjoyed it, and I've been wanting to, actually read the whole book. So that is the next one up on the list. And so far, we're only the first chapter, and I like it just as much as I did when I read the first few chapters before. And it seems like Mom's also enjoying it. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
This one has more potential.
So basically, this one is about...
It's an ornery old woman.
Yes, it's an ornery old woman. She starts out the book very depressed with her life because her kids are all grown up and her husband has died. And she's actually suicidal. She's just like, I just don't feel useful anymore. I think I might step off a bridge. And she goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, you need to find something you enjoy doing, like, because she does all this volunteer work and she just doesn't find any fulfillment in it. And he was like, so find something you find fulfillment in. And she's just like, well, I've always wanted to be a spy. And basically she storms into the CIA and is like, make me a spy.
I'm going to volunteer.
Yes, she's going to volunteer to be a spy.
Because she can be killed.
Yeah, she was like, I'll be expendable. I'll give you my life. That's about as far as we've gotten in the book. I know what happens just slightly ahead, which I think you could probably guess what happens because, it wouldn't be much of a book if she got completely turned away. But it is very funny, and she's just this, as Mom said, ornery old woman. And I am looking forward to getting all the way through this book. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Tomorrow is another long day of driving, so we will get through at least The Unexpected Mrs. Pollifax and probably start on whatever the next book is that we have not decided on yet. Good night. Have gone to the bathroom in a very cold outhouse, but the mountains are beautiful that you can't see.
Driving, Callista?
5 minutes.
How long did I drive, Callista?
Since 8:30 this morning.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hello. We have made it into Alaska at long last, and we are staying in a little B&B, and we got some good book listening done today. Let's see, did we finish a book today or did we just start off with Pollifax? You're right, because we listened to the, yes, we finished the other one last night. That's right. Yeah, so we finished. Yeah, it was Beautiful Blue Death that we finished last night, which you guys already know because I filmed that. And we started The Unexpected Mrs. Pollifax by Dorothy Gilman and finished it today. And so The Unexpected Mrs. Pollifax, I did enjoy it quite as much as I figured I would after having read the first like 2 chapters last year or something, but it was really fun and interesting. She has basically the same brain as my mom, give her about 15 years, and because there was multiple times in the book where mom would be like, this will happen, and then Mrs. Pollifax would do exactly that, not the least of which included like picking out a specific song that she was going to sing somehow. So my mom could be a spy, is what I'm trying to say.
Maybe I am.
At the CIA, hire my mom. It was really fun, and Mrs. Pollifax is just a delightfully charming character, and her adventures were very clever, and she was very clever, which is always appreciated in book characters. And it had a good ending, so I think that's all you can ask for in a cozy spy novel, is cleverness and good endings. And, you know, just some hijinks. And so yes, that was fun. And then we started, and by started I mean about like the first 5 minutes of Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, because mom protested that I start another book exactly after we finished the last one, so we took a break.
5 seconds.
What can I say? I wanted to get on to the next book. I have a lot of reading to get done. I have to meet my reading challenge. 30 out of 40 books. And so we will hopefully get that done tomorrow, maybe. Although we only have 3 hours to our destination, so we probably won't finish it, so I'll probably play it while we unpack. Probably. So, yeah. That's pretty much it for today. I am extremely exhausted and ready to eat. Chill. Bye! today is day whatever the heck it is, and we made it into my new apartment, so that is where I am. It is a little bit of, I mean, not a mess, because honestly I have like almost nothing in here at the moment, because most of my stuff doesn't get here for a couple days because we're here a day early. But I have a home. Yay! So as I get stuff in, I will update. Oh, books. We started listening, or we kept listening to Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. Whew, okay, so I mean, it said it was a romantic comedy, but it's like, I probably shouldn't, it's not what I expected to be listening to with my mom on a drive. I say this because there's like, it's just very descriptive. There's like a fairly long like masturbation scene, and I think I just kind of stopped like, okay, this is what we're listening to right now. And it was so I mean, it just like, there's parts of it that are really interesting, because I mean, it's about this like chronically ill girl, and it's like a romantic comedy, and I really like the concept, and a lot of the sarcasm and the interactions that aren't like overtly sexual are really fun to listen to, and I like it, and it seems well written. It's just, for me specifically, it's a little bit graphic, but I'm invested at the moment, so I also kind of want to finish it. But and then like, so, and mom and I listening to it at the same time is very weird. It's very weird. So I don't actually know if I'm going to finish listening to the audiobook with mom, because she's even more comfortable with it than I am, which I understand, and I think just both of us listening to it together is making it not better. So yeah, that's all I got. Talk to you later. Bye. It is day 3 of move-in, and we have gotten a lot of stuff done, kind of. We've built coffee tables and bookshelves and nightstands, and I got a mattress today, which is great for my back, because floor sleeping for the past 2 days has been rough. But it's all good. We just finished Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. It was really well written. Like, the characters were very realistic, and you got invested in the story, and there were definitely some very cute moments. It was just also very graphic, and lots of language. Like, well, mostly on Red's side, because Chloe doesn't really swear that much. But like, Red swears like every other word out of his mouth, which is consistent with his character. Yeah. So if you're not comfortable with very graphic sex scenes and lots of language, then it's probably not the book for you. But if you don't mind that, it is well written.
Fast forward like you did.
Yeah, or fast forward. I have no idea what I'm rating it, because I don't know, 3 or 4, somewhere between, probably 3.5, but Goodreads doesn't let you do halves, which is stupid. And then we started a novella or a short story, I'm not sure what it's technically categorized as, called Look Both Ways, a story told in 10 blocks by Reynolds. And so far, that is also really well written. It basically follows this one event, which I believe is like a school bus falling out of the sky. We haven't gotten there yet, but I'm pretty sure that's what it said on the back cover. And it goes through like the perspectives of like each person that was there to witness it, short story fashion. And the narration is like done by different people for like each different perspective. So that's kind of fun. Oh, and I should mention, the narrator for Get a Life, Chloe Brown, was actually really good. She was extremely emotive, and she had a really cool voice and did different accents very well. So I think that's definitely in the audiobook's favor, because she was a really good narrator. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just trying to get stuff done and built and moved in. So say hi, Mom. Hello. She's being nice and folding my laundry. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome. Love you.
Love you too. All right, that's it. Bye. day whatever of moving. I lost track like 4 days ago. Editing me can put it in better than me, so you can stop laughing. We didn't get a ton of actual move-in-ish stuff done today, except that we bought closet organization stuff because I desperately need it. And then we spent most of the day going on a very long but fun hike in Chugach State Park, and you know, taking the Crow's Pass Trail, Albert Loop, all that fun stuff. The Iditarod Trail. Isn't that the same thing as the Crow's Pass Trail?
Yes, but the Crow's Pass Trail is like 27 miles long, and the Iditarod portion, I think, is only part of that, I think. I don't know, I'd have to look at the map again.
Mother knows best. But we did that, and it was really fun, and got some great pictures, and even though it was rainy, it was still very worth it. And then after that, we went over to this place called Barbara Falls. We met this like really nice park ranger, and he told us like where to go to potentially see some salmon, because the salmon run is starting from like August to October, I think it was, something like that. And he's like, oh, you'll know because there's this like little sign someone wrote that says aggressive grizzly spotted Saturday, July 25th. We're like, great. He's like, bring your bear spray if you have it. So we went to Walmart and got bear spray. I feel like a real Alaskan. It's great. We did not have to use the bear spray, but we also unfortunately did not see any salmon, unfortunately. But we've seen pretty much every other type of major Alaskan wildlife bingo that you need. Book-wise, we finished listening to Look Both Ways by Jason Reynolds, which I thought was a really nice, like, little short story. It's just, like, basically little vignettes about, you know, these kids' lives, and I liked how they all interconnected. You know, you would focus in on, like, one person and their experience, and then they'd, like, come in, like, in the periphery of other people's, but it just made it seem all the more engaging and real, I thought, and I just thought it was extremely well written, and so it was really good. Would you concur, Mother? Mother concurs. And then we started The Dark Days Club by Alison Goodman, which is kind of like historical fiction with a hint of the supernatural fantasy. And it's about this girl, Helen, and I think she eventually fights demons. It's set in like Regency London, which sounds like a good setup to me. We're only like 5 chapters into it. So it's been mostly the London high society setup sort of thing. It's pretty good so far, I think. I'm enjoying it, at least. Mom takes a bit longer to get into books, I think. Well, it's true.
In an audiobook, in a written book, I have less trouble getting into it. My mind doesn't get as distracted, I don't think.
Anyway, so we started that. So whether we'll finish it or not before Mom has to leave, yet to be determined. But we did get some good listening in today. That's all for now. Bye! Hello friends, today is day whatever of move-in, and I mean my mom has just left. I dropped her off at the airport, so I guess I officially live on my own now. weird. Weird. It's weird. Sorry about the road noise. I live next to a highway, but the light was nice out here and I wanted to sit outside. So hopefully you all can hear me fine. And if not, oh well. So I'm just sitting on my balcony at the moment and staring at the highway, you know, lovely views from a balcony. Today was a pretty good last day for Mom and I. We went to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center, which was really fun. Saw some wolves and elk and brown and black bears and lots of other cool Alaskan animals. Some of them we'd seen in the wild, some of them we hadn't, you know, but it was cool to see them and see the good work that they're doing to help the Alaskan wildlife thrive and prosper. And all of the animals that live there are animals that, well, most of them were animals that were orphaned when they were very young, and so they can't go back out into the wild because they didn't learn the skills they need to survive. So that's, I mean, it's sad. Like, they had like little postcards for all of the animals, and so you just like read their stories, and it was just, oh, it make you sad. We went to a little gold mining museum, which was cool. I mean, that was the majority of it. And then we had our first table read today for I'm doing a screenwriting project for a pilot episode of a TV show, and we had our first table read today so we can do work on our revisions, and that went super well. It's always so much fun as a writer to see your work being performed and like read out loud by people. So it's like even without all of the music, the costumes, all of that stuff, even just the cold read, like almost in its raw form, is just so satisfying. And you know, obviously there's things to work on, but it's still a supremely satisfying thing as a writer, you know, screenwriting, playwriting, what have you. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So yeah, that was pretty much it. We did a little bit more reading on the Dark Days Club, like back and forth with the driving and then on the way to the airport. Unfortunately, we did not even get close to finishing it. Mom was leaving just as it was ramping up, and she was like, you're gonna have to give me the name of that book so I can finish reading it on my own. So I will continue to read it because obviously Movin' still has a bit to go. So we'll see what happens. That'll probably be the last book I do for this vlog though, so I'll like kind of follow it through until I get that one finished. Pretty much it for today. It's a weird feeling. Kind of feels final, like, oh yeah, I'm an adult, cool. Like this weird few weeks between when school kicks in and I feel like a student again. And yeah, weird. It's weird. That's all I got for you, so thanks. Alright, good morning, Borida, Ohio. Good morning. Do I know good morning in any other languages? I feel like I do. Anyway, I finally finished Dark Days Club. I definitely did not stay up till 4 in the morning finishing it. No, but it was really good. I enjoyed it. There's always a couple things you can nitpick about when it comes to books, so I'm not gonna be like too harsh on it. And I really appreciated, the concept is really fun. Like, I love the whole Regency era demon slayers. Nice. Weird thing is, like, you know, it's seemingly random how the way the reclaimers or the demon slayers basically are born. It's random except for Helen, who is a direct inheritor, which is supposedly the sign of what they call a grand deceiver, or like a super duper powerful demon. If it's random, theoretically there should be as many female reclaimers as male reclaimers, but they talked about it as if the male reclaimers were far more common than the female reclaimers. Like, Helen is the only female reclaimer in England. There's like 8 of them. And they didn't specify before that if there was any other female reclaimers other than her mother. But I mean, if it's truly random, there should be as many female reclaimers as male reclaimers, which I understand that it doesn't necessarily fit as well into their like society. But if it's truly random, that's what it should have been. But nah. So, and that's a very, very tiny qualm. I keep looking over here, like the camera's not here, the camera's here. Sorry. I did love all of the attention to detail. I loved the way it developed. I loved the characters, and Helen was very fascinating, and I loved her relationship with Darby, her maid. Now, the ending was what I kind of wasn't so fond of. It's obviously the first book in the series, so there's a couple of things where I was like, okay, this was done so it could lead into the next book. Makes sense. So there was just a couple things where I was like, was that probable? Was that realistic? I mean, I guess. And then I kept waiting for this big betrayal, like the big twist. Like I kept seeing it coming, and then it just wasn't. So, and I'm not necessarily mad about it. It's just, I think my brain has been rewired by most dramatic books to expect like the absolute worst out of the characters. Like I expect all of the characters to be betrayal and bad, and when they're not, I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. But I've been like wired to expect it. I'm not mad that that didn't happen, but like I kept waiting for it because I thought I saw hints for it, and you know, maybe in later books, maybe it still is, because I had a couple like, there was like not quite a love triangle, but kind of a love triangle, if that makes any sense. And I was just like, love triangles. But it was more of a like standoffish guy mentors Helen to be Demon Slayer, misinterpreted as standoffish guy likes Helen, which they obviously like each other, but that just hasn't developed yet. And then actual guy who loves Helen and wants to marry her hates other guy, like for pre-existing reasons. And oh my goodness, there was so much drama with that aspect, and I was just like, oh my gosh. Oh, that was the last thing. So there was lots of like little things of miscommunication, and I was like, girl, if you could just tell even like part of the truth, this could be a lot smoother for you. And she was like, no, the entirety of the Dark Days Club, the entirety of everything must be kept secret. And I'm like, I mean, I guess, but you're making it so hard on yourself. And especially when it comes to like her relationship with like her brother. She trusts Darby randomly, which makes sense, and Darby's super trustworthy, but I was like, you love your brother and everything, so it would make sense to trust him too. But nah, and she was like, no, he just think I'm mad. I'm like, you didn't think Darby was gonna think you were bad? Okay, whatever. I mean, it's little stuff like that where I just like, I don't like miscommunication in books. I'm just like, so that led to the big dramatic ending, and I was like, yeah, okay. And then her uncle, Helen and her brother are orphaned, and they're under the care of their aunt uncle. And her uncle wins the Mr. Dursley Award for being horrible and abusive to your niece/nephew under your care for differences you perceived based on the slights and taboo and prejudice you had against their mother. Very specific award, but accurate. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I did really like it. I really want to read the next books. I don't know how many are out, but I really want to read them, see what happens, see how it develops. So I'm probably going to try to do that. This is going to be the last book for this video because I need to post it tonight. I'm seriously gonna finish filming and then upload it into the video file and then upload it to YouTube. So chill. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for joining me on this moving journey. I'm still trying to figure out my filming setup for here. I have a couple ideas. We'll see what works. But I have a few videos backlogged that I filmed, so I just still have to edit them, but it's just going to show me back at old home. So you're not gonna see whatever new filming setup for a bit, but that's okay. If you have enjoyed these videos, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, all those YouTuber-y things. So next week I will be posting my first book look in a while, so stay tuned for that. Or I also have a whole playlist of book looks that you can watch if you have not yet, and I will link it up here. That's pretty much it. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you so much. Stay magic. Keep reading. Love you all. Bye.